Verme la moustache en la camucha. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki takatiki. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira takatiki punetica. Samile, verme la moustache en la camucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And here we are again. I told y'all I was going to keep y'all updated as events came about and what's going on in free agency. It seems like a lot of teams around the league is doing a lot better. I told y'all that a lot of the southern teams were probably going to do the best. So far, Jacksonville has started signing people. It seems like Miami has tailed off with signing people. The New Orleans Saints basically re-signed Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater is going to Carolina to replace Cam Newton, who the Panthers have said can seek a trade. And there's plenty of other things. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have somehow signed Tom Brady. So Amari Cooper has signed a $100 million deal in Dallas, while Dallas still hasn't signed their quarterback. So there's just a lot to get into, but I'm going to focus today just solely on the Redskins. And to me, what seems like, to me, a failure in free agency, because I don't understand what's really happening with this team at this point, because there's a lot of confusion going on with what direction is Ron Rivera really looking for this team to go into. Because currently on some of his signings, I'm not really certain if Ron Rivera is doing the right thing for this team. Because last year we were basically built structure and maintaining the factor of we're going young. We're going to groom the guys we got here. And for some reason, we seem to now have diverted from that. Because currently right now, we've signed a backup lineman in West Schweitzer. We signed a backup lineman in West Schweitzer. We signed a almost 40-year-old linebacker in Thomas Davis. We signed a special team linebacker in Piere-Louis. I think his name Kevin Piere-Louis. We signed him. We signed Kendall Fuller to a contract which is $2 million less than what Austin Hooper got in Cleveland. And we also set up there and re-signed John Bostic, who was a fairly good linebacker to us, but I don't know. So I'm going to start off with the guys that we signed and some of the guys we didn't. Kendall Fuller, I've been talking to people all day. I just feel Kendall Fuller, 4 years, $40 million was a lot of money for the guy. I understand that some, the average, when you think about the average per year for cornerbacks, they're talking about $15 million a year. Now, they're talking about the possibility of him being able to switch to free safety, but do we know he's actually going to be able to do that? And are we getting the cornerback that we lost years ago, or are we getting a cornerback that wasn't really that good in Kansas City? That's one of my biggest worries, because, again, understand, Jack Del Rio is now the defensive coordinator for this team. So does he have a plan in place to get the best out of Kendall Fuller? These are things that we have to ask. Next, Thomas Davis, who will be 37 on Sunday. This Sunday coming up. Thomas Davis will be 37 years old. He's a linebacker who's had a history of injuries. He's slowed down. And the fact that they're sitting there acting as though this was a good signing. I mean, you basically brought in an old linebacker when your linebacking core is young, is really, really young. Like, to me, that's very troubling to me, to know that you're signing. It'd be different if he came on as a coach. Then I would understand. But what is really his need here? Because I don't see him playing. And if he's here to take a roster spot, that is bad for anybody like a Josh Harvey Clemens or even a Sean Dion Hamilton, who's actually a phenomenal linebacker. Does this call the end to players, to some of our young talent, because Ron Rivera wants to bring in this old linebacker? We have to question this type of stuff. Wes Schweitzer, however you say his name, Schweitzer, however you say his name. I said this in my last video. This guy, he's played, every year he's been in the NFL, he started less and less games. And a lot of that is because he's not a really good offensive lineman. He lost his starting job in 2018 and then lost it again in 2019. So the fact that you bring this guy in when we need a starting left tackle because Trent is gone, and we also need a starting left guard because Eric Flowers is gone. So you're putting us in a situation where we're not sure what's going on. Kevin Piere-Louis, he is a special teams linebacker. Like, I don't even understand that signing. Like, I don't see how how he's gonna make a difference on this team when that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for guys who's able to play in the 4-3. A good example is, okay, we brought back John Bostic. John Bostic didn't play well in the 4-3 when he was in Indianapolis, but he plays well in the 3-4. In the 3-4. So, again, I'm kind of confused about what we're really doing here in free agency. We haven't signed anybody of need. We haven't tapped into our real needs. We haven't gotten a tight end. We haven't gotten a starting outside cornerback because, again, we still haven't traded Quentin Dunbar, who at this point, you might as well say he needs to be traded. Again, you still haven't hit the needs that your team really has. You haven't found, like I said, you haven't found a tackle. You need a tackle, a starting left tackle. You need a starting left guard. Now, again, maybe Wes Martin and Ross Pierschbacher can come in and start for us. But at this current moment, these signings look silly. They look very, very silly. And again, I just don't get it. Like I said, we haven't even tapped into the things that we need the most. We still don't have a starting safety. The point that you're trying to make, and you're saying, we're bringing in Kendall Fuller. Well, he could move the safety. But guess what? You still need that cornerback. So either we need the cornerback or we need the safety. Kendall Fuller is going to, if you feel he's that worth it, he's going to fill one of those positions. But again, you still need the veteran presence at the other position. And now you're sitting in a situation where you're losing all your leverage for guys that you needed to trade away. Ryan Anderson is probably our biggest asset right now if you was to trade. But is that what you want to do for a guy who just recently developed? He just developed this in 2019. Ryan Anderson became a playmaker in 2019. So now all of a sudden, here we are in 2020, and he's like your best asset to trade. Dunbar doesn't give you anything. I told y'all Jacksonville. I thought Jacksonville needed the cornerback. Guess what they did? They went out and signed corners today. I think they signed Denzel Denard. I think Darquise Denard. They signed him, and they're also looking to get a guy in the draft. We have yet to actually do something about our tight end position, which means we're going to have to possibly go into the season again with Jeremy Sprinkle, who dropped so many passes. And it's coming into our season. Is that really what we want? What is really happening here? What is really happening here? Because, again, I'm not for certain what they're really trying to do. Because you're not going to tell me that Thomas Davis is going to make that big of an impact, that big of a splash, that at almost 40 years old. There's no way he's going to make that big of an impact at almost 40 years old. It's no way. Playing linebacker, it's no way. It's no way. And I get it. Ron Rivera's only been on the job for a couple days. I get it. I get that. But he's also been a coach in this league for a very long time. If these are the type of deals we're going to expect from Ron Rivera, is he even the right guy to be in charge or even be acknowledged as a true general manager, head coach? I mean, can we trust Ron Rivera to actually make the decisions that need to be made? Because to me, personally, I'm sitting here saying this, to me, Thomas Davis is an irresponsible signing. I don't care how people may feel. I don't care that people saying Ron Rivera has been on the job for a couple of days. Thomas Davis is an irresponsible signing. That is very irresponsible. Especially when you know that this team need other players in other areas, and he's at almost 40 years old is tying up a roster spot. Get out of here. Get out of here. They haven't put the numbers out for what he's about to make, but I swear, if for some reason he signs anything that is more than a 1-year deal, I'm done. I'm done. Because it is insane. It is absolutely insane to sit up there and sign a linebacker that old. It is just insane. I understand that, again, free agency has just started. It's just started. We got, I guess, one more day, a couple more. We got a little bit more to go, but still, we haven't filled the needs that we needed to fill. We don't have that many draft picks to fill all our positions. So we'll definitely see what happens in the long run. We'll see what Ron Rivera do. I guess we'll see about who gets released. But like I told y'all from the get-go, the Southern teams were going to make the biggest impacts. And so far, my thing has been correct. Tampa Bay has made a splash. Miami has been making splashes. Jacksonville has made a splash. New Orleans are basically signing their guys back. You know, teams. Atlanta has got there a couple guys. I think it was the Titans got Vic Beasley today. So it's so much stuff going on. And like I said, currently these Southern teams are winning out. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.